Hey guys, I'm Dave with the Trull Gallery, and today we're going to fix this wall. If you've been following the channel for a while, you may have heard that the shop I'm in now is temporary, although I have been here for 2 years now. And, you know, if all goes well, I should only have another 6 months or so, maybe less, let's hope. But because it was temporary, I didn't really focus on long-term storage solutions, and things just kind of got added as I needed space, like this wall. I added a clamp rack, then another one. I kind of added on to that. I have screwdrivers over there, and chisels over there, and hammers or whatever. It's a mess. So today we're going to tackle sorting that out, but in such a way that when I do move the shop, I can take the storage with me. Let's see how that goes.
A good starting point when building a French cleat wall is figuring out what you want to store on it. At least identify what you have now and maybe leave a little extra space for future expansion. Looking at the stuff I've got on the wall now, I've got several styles of clamps, some hammers, levels, squares, rules, and I'd also like to move my chisels and screwdrivers here as well. I had several pieces of leftover Baltic birch plywood in both 3/4 and 1/2 inch thicknesses, and this makes great shop furniture. While I've got lots of regular plywood scraps, I prefer Baltic birch. You can sand the face without damage, and it has no voids between the layers, so the edges can be left as is. Once I had an idea of the tool holders that I wanted to make, I ripped down some plywood and began to think about spacing. In this case, how much spacing would I need for my screwdrivers? After marking locations from side to side, it was time to determine the front to back spacing. And rather than mark each location, I just marked one on each row, and I would use that to set my fence on the drill press. Oh yeah, and the 2 rows of holes were staggered front to back to keep things from feeling too crowded. I chucked up a 1/2 inch Forstner bit, set my fence, and started drilling the holes. When one side was complete, I reset the fence and drilled the other set. Despite backing my pieces with the drill press table insert, I still got some blowout on a few of the holes. Guess I'll have to hang this cleat low enough that it won't show. I made a similar shelf for my chisels, and I sized it for the 5 that I keep in my shop. Rather than drill 5 different size holes, I drilled them all to fit the shank of the chisels. Then I laid out a small groove in the front of the shelf to allow the chisels to slide in and drop into place. These grooves could be cut with a jigsaw, bandsaw, handsaw, or, for dramatic effect, a table saw. Using my crosscut sled, I set the blade height to the proper height, held the stock tight to the fence, and made 2 passes per slot. After a quick sanding on the inside faces, it was time to start assembly. I used the back of the chisel shelf to support the top of the screwdriver shelf while I assembled it, since they're the same height. Some glue and 23 gauge nails holds everything together for now. I flipped everything over and assembled the chisel shelf the same way. I built a few other shelf units in the same manner, but in different sizes. This one is to hold my hammers and mallets. I'm going to use dowels to support the tools, and for some reason I chose to drill the holes for them after the shelf was already assembled. I put a 3/8 inch brad point bit into my drill press and drilled the mounting holes. Since hammers have different shapes, curves, and angles, each dowel location was based on the hammer it was going to hold. I hope that'll make sense, eventually. After cutting 6 pieces of a 3/8 inch dowel down to length and easing the edges on my sander, it was time to assemble the unit. A little glue on the end of the dowel, and they were tapped into place with a mallet. A quick wipe with a wet towel and the glue squeeze out is gone. I thought a few clamp holders would be a help, and rather than reinvent the wheel, I went with a design from Jonathan Katz Moses. I'll add a link to his video below, and he even offers free plans for these holders. After cutting all the pieces to size, and Jonathan covers that in great detail, it was time to assemble the units. A little glue on the back piece, and an extra back piece in place for balance. Then I can set one side on top and fasten it in place with a few 1¼ 16 gauge finish nails. Then the assembly was flipped over and the process was repeated. I assembled 3 wide holders and 4 narrow holders. Hopefully that'll be enough. With all or most of my tool holders built, it was time to shift over to cutting some cleats. I started by ripping down some pieces of 3/4 inch Baltic birch to 3 3/4 inches. I ripped enough cleats for my tool holders and to cover the wall section that we'll work on later. Each of these strips would be ripped in half to create 2 cleats. While I went with the old-fashioned method of figuring out how to make my strips, drawing it out, measuring, and all that good stuff, Chris over at Glimpse Inside has a formula. If you'd prefer to do the math, I'll add a link to his video as well. Using my digital angle gauge, I set my table saw blade to 45 degrees, which isn't always easy on a portable table saw. With the blade angle and the fence set, I added a featherboard to my fence to keep the stock from riding up. Then I could make my first pass. The 2 cleats ended up to be within a 32nd of an inch of each other, and I can live with that. Rather than leave the sharp edge on the tip of the cleat, I reset the blade to 90 degrees and moved the fence. I trimmed off the very tip of the cleat so it wouldn't be brittle, or worse, leave a sharp edge to catch things on. A cleat was added to each holder with a little glue and a couple of 16 gauge nails. Screws or brads would work here as well. Longer pieces got a few extra nails, but the process was the same. Make sure you have the cleat facing the correct way so it will engage the mating wall cleat when you hang things up. With all of the holders assembled and the wall cleats cut and sanded, it's time to remove the existing mess of tools off the wall. And just for fun, there were 3 different screws used in the old wall: Phillips head, square drive, and Torx. Apparently I just grabbed what was handy at the time. The wall I'm working with has clapboard siding, and I thought it would be best to even out the face of my new wall. I chose to use 1/2 inch Baltic birch as a backing sheet. I refused to film the comedy that was involved with me trying to hang a single sheet of plywood on the wall by myself. I did take the time to make sure that the first strip was level before tacking it in place with a few 16 gauge nails. I had pre-cut a 3-inch spacer and set that on the first strip. I could then add the next strip, nail it in place, and repeat. After every 3rd or 4th strip, I checked for level just to make sure that things weren't getting, crazy. Since I want to move this panel when I rebuild my shop, I had to make sure that the screws holding the panel to the wall were not covered by the slats. The bottom row of screws was covered, so I popped off that second strip, moved the screws down, and using my spacer reset the strip in place. Now when it's time to remove this panel, I don't have to remove any strips, trying to figure out which one is hiding the mounting screws. With the cleats pinned in place, I could go back and pre-drill and screw the cleats to the wall panel. I used 4 8 by 1¼ inch screws on each cleat. And yes, I marked the locations prior to drilling, so the screws are in nice, neat rows. One last sanding to remove any pencil lines and any raised fibers from the fasteners, and it's time to finish. It was just a quick job with 150 grit paper on my random orbit sander. Now, you could stop here, but I wanted to give the wall a little protection. So I got up my HVLP sprayer and some water-based urethane. I gave the wall 2 coats of urethane, sanding in between with 220 grit paper. All of the holders I built also got 2 coats of urethane for protection. Clamped a cleat to my spray table, and I used that term loosely, and I hooked the holders in place to spray them. Once the urethane was dry, it was time to load up the wall. My clamps are now organized and accessible, as are my hammers, chisels, and screwdrivers. I even had room to put up my levels, rules, and my large squares. Now that everything is hung up, I can see I need to make a few more holders. A wider clamp holder for my Bessie F clamps, and another small clamp shelf. Something to hold my handsaws, and another for my clampet squares. And maybe a holder for my respirator and safety glasses. The cool thing is it's all modular, so I can move things around until I'm happy with the layout. I can also head to my storage shed and grab another stack of clamps because, you can never have too many on hand.
Well, this project got stretched out over several months because of multiple delays. It really was only several hours of work, probably banging out in a weekend. And my shop is just way more organized and everything's going to be easy to get to. And the nice thing is you can literally pop stuff off and move it anywhere on the wall. It's that simple. I've got plenty of room to add more clamps. Now I just have to go get them. They're in my shed somewhere. But at the moment, everything is nice, neat, and organized. Not sure how long it'll stay that way, but it's organized for now. And the other good thing about this particular project is when I do rebuild the shop, there are 3, 6, 9 screws that hold us to the wall. So I can unscrew the panel and take it with me to the new location. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe share it with friends and family and give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, maybe hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video. I'm not sure what's coming up next, but I'm sure it'll be something interesting. So stay tuned for that. But for now, have a great day, stay safe, and take care. We'll see you soon.